Welcome back. There were pictures in the paper this morning. Full page.
Really?
Yeah, it looked like it was quite an extraordinary wedding. Did you find it so?
I think the Eden Cruise was everything they wanted.
It seems I missed quite a party. Dining, dancing, especially dancing. There was the loveliest picture of you and Sophia dancing, cheek to cheek. I suppose that wasn't solely done just for the purposes of the press.
It is almost required to dance at one's daughter's own wedding. Tradition, you know.
Yes, well, I was just wondering if there are any other traditions that might have been reenacted in the course of the excitement.
Well, I could tell you it's none of your business, but you'll probably find out anyway.
So, you just thought you might ride to some reconciliation on the coattails of Cruz and Eve's wedding, huh? Well, I can tell you it's not going to last, СиСи. These kind of contagious atmospheres seem to dry up in the cold light of the day, and you're going to find yourself right back in your dreary old hotel room.
I didn't wake up this morning feeling dreary at all. You see, I haven't moved back in with Sophia. And I think after the last couple of days, I probably never will.
How?
You listen to me. Don't you ever go away again.
I missed you, too.
Did you?
Yeah.
I don't know. After that phone call, I mean...
What?
I got a lot of weird feelings. I mean, you sounded very distant, like you were working yourself up to something. So then I started seeing all this handwriting on the wall. I thought you'd realize that, you know, being up there with СиСи and the family, you wanted to get back into that life again. I don't know, I just got all these weird feelings. And then you had to hang up. I didn't know what to think.
Well, I didn't either. But I do now.
What does that mean? You've made up your mind about something. Don't try to tell me you haven't. You've made a decision.
You're right.
I tried to prepare myself for this. But I don't think I did just a good job.
How hard is it going to be for you to move in here with me?
Oh, that's nice. Hey, do you want me to get you headphones so you can listen to music? What am I? I'm sorry. You don't have my headphones?
No. Okay.
Sure?
Yeah.
Hey, what can I do?
Nothing, unless you can tell me what I'm going to do when I get to the cemetery. Kane, I haven't been back to that place since they buried my father. I swore I wouldn't return until I'd found his killer. 5 years is a long time to be away. I'm frightened.
What are you afraid of?
I keep trying to say goodbye to my father, but it's like writing in invisible ink, you know? It doesn't take. I'm not sure that this is going to be any different.
Rituals can make things real for us. I think if you let this, it'll help you start.
You know, I couldn't have taken this step without you. Would you get back in this bed?
Just one more.
Since when did we ever need this much candlelight?
Stay on there. It's not a question of need. It's a question of special touches in honor of a special occasion.
I love you, Mr. Castillo.
I love you too, Mrs. Castillo.
Our honeymoon is going to be over if you insist on lighting 8 million blobs of wax.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to recreate that beam of moonlight that zoomed in the window last night and lit up your eyes in such a magic way. Maybe I'm what you were saying?
Nothing, I just want more. Oh, the sprinklers! Oh my! This is what you call romantic? Oops. Oh, Pearl, I'm but just as I was leaving, the mail came. And then once I got this letter, oh, Pearl, it's from Mr. Anonymous, and it's the best one yet. I just about died. Oh, man, there he is. I don't know. I don't even think I can look at him without giving everything away.
Good morning.
I'm sorry. Good morning.
I take it this is from your secret admirer, right? Well, I understand. What's the big deal? You've already had a lot of letters from him. This is just another one.
Yeah, but Pearl, you should see this one. I mean, I'd let you read it, but it's just too personal, and that's what's so great about it.
Is that
I didn't know Jake could sound like this.
You absolutely, positively sure that it's Jake that's writing
Of course it's Jake. Listen, he's just being anonymous because I was. And, you know, we're still both a little shy, so I think this is his way of dealing with it. But listen to this. He says he wants to travel with me to all these incredible places, these exotic places I've never even heard of. Like, I get goosebumps just thinking about it, Pearl. Listen, the mountains of Tibet, Victoria Falls. Now, wait, that's in England, right? Like Queen Victoria?
No. Africa. Discovered by Dr. Stanley Livingston, 1855.
Oh, wow. He discovered Victoria Falls?
It is such a beautiful place. The mists that rise from those falls are so intense. The natives, the Africans, they call it Mosiatunya. Mosiatunya. Smoke that thunders.
That's beautiful.
That what?
It's beautiful.
Oh, yeah. You should really see it, Rita. There's a lot in this world that you should really see.
And then he mentions this place, what's this, Tierra del Fuego? I mean, I've never heard of that. Of course, I'll go over there, and he won't say a word about it.
That's because he ain't never heard of it either. No, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Never?
Are you talking to yourself?
Oh.
Hi.
Only because you're not around, babe. How are you?
I'm fine.
So, how was our wedding, anyway?
Oh, it was beautiful. I expected to see you there. What happened?
Yeah, what happened? I was struck down by the great flu epidemic of 1988. Yeah, see those two people over there, Rita and Jake? They came down with the same thing. The same day, can you believe it? We were about ready to book an ambulance all the way up to the Pebble Creek, but we were so green that I figured, why clash with the decor, right?
Yeah, that's too bad.
So, it was a good time, the wedding?
Oh, yes, it was an incredible event.
Incredible event. Sounds more like you're describing a funeral than a wedding.
No, Pearl, it was just hard for me to be surrounded by all that bliss. You know, Cruise and Eden seemed so happy together, and it made my life seem...
seem like what?
A little empty.
Why? Why empty? You're beautiful. You're healthy. You have a lovely little boy. You don't have to worry where your next meal is coming from.
You're right, you're right. I should count my blessings. You're right.
Absolutely should. I mean, we all should. Lately, it's like there are two different kinds of people in Santa Barbara, correct? There are Cruise and Eden, and then there are the rest of us poor slobs who could never hope to have what they have. But we can. All we have to do is go out in the world and ask for it. I mean, if life isn't good enough for us, then we got to make it better. Yes, sirree. We gotta do something, not sit around and talk about it. Write about it. Excuse me.
Nobody can tell you how to make peace with this. But when you get there and you're alone with your father, just let things happen. Just let the quiet happen.
Well?
And then think back and remember the last time you were there, when you were putting him to rest. If you feel like crying, then cry, and that's fine. But if you don't, that's fine, too. There's no right or wrong. There's no perfect way to do it.
You know, I keep thinking that maybe I should go back to one of the houses that we lived in. You know, and I could remember him when he was alive, instead of a mausoleum.
Well, you could try it. There's probably other families living there, or I didn't even know if you can get in.
No. We lived a lot of places, too, you know. It'd be hard to pick one out.
What was your favorite of all the places you lived?
The places I lived? I was never really anywhere long enough to get used to one place. I mean, my family used to move to D.C. every 4 years. And we'd rent a new home, and I'd go to a new school, and I'd make new friends. It's funny, I never got really sentimental or any of it, because before you knew it, my father would have new orders, and we'd be moving off to Tokyo or Seoul.
Oh, it's gotta be weird to not really have a place you could call home.
I had a home. My family was my home. I mean, wherever we were together, that was home. I think that's why this is all so hard for me, you know. I lost my father and I lost my family. I lost myself. Till I met you on the beach, helping those animals. And when I looked into your eyes, I finally saw a way back.
Thank you very much. Well, Mr. Coe says that he will get us a new bed as soon as he possibly can.
Good.
Yeah, he also mentioned that the hotel is full up, so it may take a little while.
How long's a little while?
I'm sorry. I know this isn't the way this is supposed to be working. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you just had to pick our honeymoon to start your career as an arsonist.
Well, I had no idea that those candles would generate so much heat.
Maybe they didn't. Maybe you and I, we started the sprinkler system off all by ourselves.
No, don't blame this on me. This is your fault. It's because you can't wait. You can't wait to start knitting those little baby booties. It makes you a very dangerous woman.
Cruz, wouldn't it be wonderful if we got back from our honeymoon? I went to the doctor and he told
me...
No,
don't say that. Don't say that. That'll jinx it. Don't talk about that even.
It's just that when Kelly started talking about being pregnant, it made me think it was all possible. And now that we're married and everything, I don't know, I guess I'm a little irrational about this issue.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait either. I'm sorry.
It would make it a little easier if we had a bed.
Well, they're working on it. Mr. Coe called it his top priority. I got an idea. Why don't we go out and grab some lunch, and then when we come back here, hopefully this room will be all set up again with our new bed, and we can take our afternoon nap.
Nap?
Yeah, well, you know, you got to allow me the occasional euphemism, right?
I don't know. Was that in our vows?
If it wasn't, it should have been.
Maybe you can help me. Have you seen Mrs. Meredith on this floor? The people down in the volunteer office said she might be up here.
Oh, she's probably in the children's wing. Why, do you have a meeting with her today?
Yeah, she's going to review this application.
You're volunteering here?
Yeah. You know, this hospital's really been good to me and to Mel by referring us both to the drug rehab clinic, and I thought it was about time that I gave something back.
Well, that's great. I'm really proud of you.
Well, you see, a friend of mine remarked today that I can't sit around feeling sorry for myself and expect to enrich my life.
Well, do you know which part of the hospital you're going to be working in yet?
No, whatever they need me, I guess.
So you're going to be wearing one of those little striped uniforms?
I've been here for the fashion.
Dr. Clark.
Mr. Noah?
I thought you were supposed to be over at the dependency unit.
I was there most of the night, but then I got a call this morning saying that they were short-handed here.
And you jumped at the chance, right? You couldn't wait to get away. One would think your assignment to the drug clinic was a passport to Siberia.
I just don't want to lose out on the opportunity of perfecting other skills. I was on a surgical rotation when this transfer came.
As you've reminded us on numerous occasions. Clark, you have to learn to make the most of your challenges. Don't waste time bemoaning the loss of something that you may not even have been suited for anyway.
Who is that?
Joseph Noah, hospital administrator. I would have introduced you, but it was time for my good deed of the day.
Noah as in the Ark?
As in the bigot. He'd be the last one to admit this, but he fosters a little caste system for the doctors. The well-connected types with the Ivy League schools, now they deserve to be in the glamorous specialties. Heart surgery, neurosurgery. But those of us who have fathers who work on oil rigs, we're best suited for the low visibility of the drug clinics and the emergency room and stuff like that. Which you hate. No, that's not true. I'm not putting down the ER or the clinic. I just don't think that that's where my talents are used the best right now. But Noah doesn't think I should be a cardiac surgeon. He doesn't think I have the look.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, too bad I don't have the time to laugh right now. I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Of course I want to.
Well then, what's stopping you?
I just don't want you to have any regrets.
TJ, the idea of not ever having those late-night phone calls, not having the bed get cold and empty when you get up to leave, I've wanted that for a long time. I just want us to have the simple pleasure of being able to walk through that front door and having one or the other there for us.
That sounds like a bit of heaven. Yeah, I mean, but this place is not just your house, you know? I mean, there's other people that call this a home. And they're not going to want to call it that with me living here.
They'll adjust. They've already started to.
Look, Sophia, yeah. They've gotten a little more used to us. But with me moving in, it's going to be a whole different deal.
TJ,
Well, Sophia,
I've been thinking...
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I want to hear what you have to say.
You see, baby, that's it. You're trying to find out if I'm sure or not, and you've just defined it because you care about what I say. You always have. You make me feel like my opinion counts.
Oh, man, of course it counts.
And you don't try to make decisions for both of us. СиСи always does that. He always has to be right. He always has to be the one in control.
Now, see, that's another thing. I mean, this guy's like a control freak. And he still technically owns the place, too, so he could make it very tough on you here.
Well, don't worry about СиСи. Let me worry about that. I just want you to say to me that we are going to live together, and we're going to be very happy.
We are going to live together.
Yeah?
And I've never been happier.
Well, I hardly know what to say.
You don't have to say a word. Your glee in the face of my misery is something I can always count on.
Come on, СиСi. Don't think for one moment that I don't understand what you're going through. I know what it's like to have your marriage dying and a part of you dying right along with it.
You're unbelievable. How like you, really? I mean, on one hand, you tell me you understand. The other hand, you're taking a knife and turning it one more time.
СиСi, I'm not accusing. I really, I don't even feel good about blaming you for my failures anymore. I used to, in the past few months. I don't know, something's happened. I've taken responsibility, and believe me, no one's more shocked than I am.
I don't believe you for 1 minute. Your being the victim in our divorce was always your gospel, your golden rule. I think you probably kept yourself alive dreaming about that.
Yes, hate can do that. But the hate's been replaced.
Don't start that again.
Well, you can't stop me, СиСi. I love you. And no matter what you tell me, or if you and Sophia have rekindled everything, I still have to live the fact that I love you. You know, the shock is that it's easy. Once you give up the fight, it's kind of a relief.
You mind telling me what you expect to gain by telling me that?
Is there something to gain?
I don't know. Your biggest fear is that I might go back to Sophia. Now you know I'm not. What you don't know, I'm not going back to you either.
Well, then what's next in the cards, СиСi? Total isolation or the next Howard Hughes?
You didn't have a bad life. I always have my children.
Yes, well, but, you know, your children have their own very busy lives. СиСi, they're grown now. You can't have the same involvement in their lives now, and especially now that they're married. Well, Ted isn't, but then... You just can't ask your children to fill the void in your life, СиСi. I've tried that. It doesn't work. Besides, you need something else.
Don't pretend you know what I need.
Well, I know what you don't need. And you don't need to be old and alone.
So, any after effects from our bout with the flu?
No, I'm actually feeling pretty human today. How about you?
Oh, I feel great. I feel like I can do anything. Leap tall buildings in a single bound, go over Niagara Falls in a barrel.
Niagara Falls in a barrel?
Or, Victoria Falls.
Where's that?
As if you didn't know.
Oh, yeah, that's in Australia, right?
No, Africa.
How do you know?
Pearl told me.
Oh, that explains it. I mean, that guy's been to every place in the world. I mean, he's traveled everywhere. Every weird place you can imagine on the map, he's been there.
Really?
Yeah, you should get him to tell you about the trip he took to South America one time. He did the whole deal. He paddled down the Amazon there and ended up in Tierra del Fuego.
What did you say?
Tierra del Fuego. I mean, that's like his favorite spot in the world.
Dr. Clark.
I called the clinic just a few minutes ago, Mr. Noah. They're managing fine without me.
Well, that's not what I wanted to talk to you about. That young woman you were speaking to earlier, was she a patient?
Well, she has been, but she came here today to apply for volunteer work.
Ah, I recognize her from somewhere.
Well, her name's Victoria Lane. She used to be on a TV show a while back.
I hardly ever watch television. Perhaps I saw her in a film.
Well, maybe. I know she just did one recently, but I don't know when it's going to be out. Excuse me.
I wonder what an actress wants with hospital volunteer work. Is she doing some so-called research for one of her roles?
She volunteered because she knew we needed help and she'd like to give it. Has nothing to do with research.
You knew her well, did you?
She was a patient before she was a friend.
Recently?
What difference does it make?
What did you treat her for? Oh, I can look it up, as you well know.
I referred her to the substance abuse program. She got a lot out of it. She did well. And now she'd like to give something back to the hospital in return.
I see. Miss Lane was an addict. Alcohol? Huh? Drugs?
Cocaine.
Well, she certainly sounds qualified to provide care for our patients.
Hey, now wait a minute.
Dr. Clark, they need you in 302.
Just a second.
No? Go right ahead. I wouldn't dream of keeping you.
Well, that tennis court looked pretty cute, all green and everything. You sure you want to cop a couple of quick sets?
Oh, no, I'm simply too exhausted. I must have my nap.
Well, I just hope they got us a bed.
That's not a bed for one person, much less two people on their honeymoon.
I think it's time we lodge a small complaint with the management.
Hello, front desk. This is Mrs. Cruz Castillo.
There were daffodils everywhere today, weren't there? They're all in buckets out in front of the florist shops. As if they knew somehow that I would be coming here. Do you remember when you bought me daffodils? I hated the idea of going to that boarding school. But you told me that all I had to do was stick it out for 2 weeks. And if I didn't like it after 2 weeks, well, then I could come home and we could get a tutor. And you drove me to the airport in the old Jeep, and you were just cursing it the whole way because of the suspension. I was fine until I got to the gate, the airport. And I just started blubbering. You said, wait right here, Andrea. I'll be right back. Be right back. When you came back, you had a bunch of daffodils in your hand. They were as yellow as the sun. And you told me that's what it was like in California. All bright and happy and bursting with life. Promised me that I'd love it there, and I promised you that I would hate it. But the whole way on the plane, I kept looking at my daffodils. I kept thinking about what you told me, and I felt better. You were right. I loved California, and I loved the school, but I still missed you, Dad. I miss you now. Wherever you are, I hope that you are standing in the same sun that you promised me.
today at 5:30.
Where you been, man? I went by the club. Margaret said you were down here.
Well, I need to change the scene once in a while, man. I can't spend every moment at the lair.
Oh, excuse me, I didn't say you had to. I just had trouble tracking you down, that's all.
What, are you complaining? After all the phone messages I left on your machine? I mean, you're never home, TJ. You're never at work. I'm still trying to figure out how we're supposed to do business together.
All right. Relax, okay? I'm gonna start becoming more accessible. As a matter of fact, you can reach me at this number starting today.
Found a new place?
Yeah, I'm in the process.
Where?
Sophia asked me to move in with her. What, no comment?
No, I don't think you'd want to hear it. Besides, you're going to get enough comments from her kids when they find out. Do they know yet?
No. No, man, they don't know yet. But I'll tell you what, when they do, I'll invite you over and give you a bag of popcorn so you can root against me.
Look, TJ, I'm not against you. I just get a little tired of watching you think you can get something for nothing.
Yeah, right.
What is this?
It's a phone number.
I know it's a phone number. It's my phone number. I wonder why that slime gave it to you.
So your dad came here a lot?
Yes, he and the entire State Department. You were always sure to run into people that you hadn't seen since Rangoon or Addis Ababa. It was like instant old home week, you know? Oh my God, the decor in this place has not changed at all. I remember that portrait being in exactly the same spot.
Wait a minute. This was a gentleman's only bar.
Right.
How did you get in here?
Well, that is where the plot thickens. See, my father used to always come home after eating here, raving about their steak tartare.
Oh, of course.
Yes, so one year, it was my birthday, and he asked me what I wanted to do. And I said I wanted to go to the Diplomat Club with him and have the steak tartare. Well, I didn't know what it was. I knew that I loved steak, and I thought tartare was some kind of sauce. The only catch to the whole thing was the gentleman-only part. So we tucked my hair up into a hat, and I put on my riding pants.
And it worked?
Yes.
Oh, wait. What happened when they brought you the steak tartare?
Well, fortunately, my father had anticipated my reaction, and he ordered the sirloin, and he was kind enough to trade with me.
Wise man.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yes.
My name's John Winchester. I have the strongest feeling you and I have met. Am I right?
Yes. Ambassador Winchester, of course. It's lovely to see you again.
Would you be so kind as to refresh my memory? I'm good with faces, miserable with names. When was it exactly we were introduced?
Well, actually, it was quite some time ago. I was here with my father, Charles Bedford.
Charlie, of course. You resemble him, especially around the eyes. And your name?
Well, I was introduced to you as Anthony, but my name is Andrea. Little girls weren't allowed here in those days, so my father and I had to resort to a daring disguise.
Oh, that was Charlie. Yeah. If there was a way to buck the system and have a good laugh doing it, he'd find it. I miss him.
Me too.
There's someone else here who knew your father. May I bring him over to say hello?
Of course, I would be delighted, yes.
You've grown into a lovely young woman. Charlie, be proud.
Thank you.
I'm glad you went back to the name Andrea. Anthony just doesn't do you justice.
No?
Well, maybe this wouldn't be so bad. I mean, we could fit in here.
Sure, it's fine if we don't move.
Well, we can move if we're really careful. Then again, I don't...
Well, okay, wait. We'll just have to plan things out a little.
Plan? You mean like choreography? You move a little bit to the right, I'll move a little bit to the left?
Well, so we sacrifice a little wild abandon.
Wild abandon is part of our recipe.
What can I tell you? Fielding said he can't come up with a double bed until tomorrow.
Or we're just gonna have to go somewhere else.
What, we're gonna move out of this place or we're gonna check out? Are you serious?
We're gonna check out of the most sacred place on the earth. We got married here. We can't go anywhere else.
Well, so what are you saying?
You stay here. I'll be back in an hour.
Ugh.
Where'd you go?
Just out on the pier. I like to look at the ocean.
Oh, good time of the year to look at the ocean. A little chilly, you know, waves and everything. Kind of
Hypnotic, huh?
So you'd probably rather take a boat than a plane?
A boat? The plane? Where?
Anywhere, if you were going to take a trip.
Ah, if I was going to take a trip, I'd take a freighter. That's what I'd take. Oh, yeah, right.
What did you take when you went down the Amazon?
I went down the Amazon in a canoe. I mean, the poison arrows, they were front. Excuse me, how'd you know I went down the Amazon?
Dick told me. Funny, he also said you spent some time in Tierra del Fuego. And you know what else? He didn't know a thing about Victoria Falls. He didn't even know where it was.
Ha! You're kidding.
I wouldn't kid you, Pearl. And I'd like to think you wouldn't kid me either.
Well, I suppose a straight answer is in order here.
That would be nice.
Let's see. It all started when I had so much to say to you that I couldn't keep inside any longer. It was stuff that I knew that you didn't want to hear from me, so I decided to be anonymous, like you were anonymous with Jake. Of course, you thought it was Jake that was writing all the letters, and I shouldn't have ever let you think that. But I was afraid. I was afraid that you would tell me not to write them anymore, and I didn't want to stop writing them. I mean, it was like taking a drug or something. I could finally express how I felt about somebody, about you. Except I didn't stop to ask myself how you would feel when you actually found out that it wasn't Jake that was writing the letters, but it was me. And I am sorry.
Oh, Pearl.
Pearl. Oh, Pearl, what a jerk, Pearl. How could you, Pearl? That is the lowest, Pearl. That is one of the most...
It's the most romantic thing that anybody's ever done for me.
Well, I think that's real nice. Is this all the luggage you're bringing?
No, actually, I have a couple of bags in the car, but I figured I got to get my boys inside and out of these bags because, you see, there's very little oxygen in there for them.
Oh.
Yes.
That's very loving and kind of you.
So, where should I put this?
Oh, I don't know. Listen, I love tropical fish. Maybe we could put them in the bedroom and lie in bed and watch them glide around.
No, I don't think so. You see, but when we're in the bedroom, there's a lot of other things I'd like to do. Gliding around on my own, you mean?
Oh.
Sort of kissing you.
Well, I heard it was moving day. I came over to find out for myself.
I met your father when I was stationed at the embassy at Saigon. He was just passing through.
You were in Saigon when it was still called Saigon? I did some time in Vietnam myself. Infantry.
Not our finest hour.
What do you mean?
An unwinnable war. Badly managed, poorly fought. We should never have been there. No one argues that now.
Well, I'd be happy to argue the point of poorly fought.
The ambassador was just saying...
No, I know exactly what the ambassador was saying, and I'm a little tired of it because I hear it a million times. Maybe it was an unwinnable war and poorly managed, but it was not badly fought. We were dumped in those godforsaken jungles and expected to deal with an enemy that had been coping with guerrilla warfare for years. And we did cope because we stayed when we could have just as easily have deserted.
Oh, please, I didn't mean to imply that you didn't do your best. I know the war had its share of heroes.
Yeah, you're damn right it did. And it wasn't always the guys who came back with the medals. It was the guys who looked at torture and suffering and senseless death day after day after day, and they got through it.
Quite right. Forgive me. I spoke without thinking.
We owe guys like you for sticking it out, no matter how it turned out.
Okay, now, I am trusting you.
Okay.
I feel like I had too much to drink or something. No problem. What is that? One of your relatives? What is that? What is this?
What am I? What? You better be nice. I got a surprise for you.
Yeah, well, this surprise smells familiar. It's smelling more. It's smelling more and more familiar the closer we get. Are we there yet?
We're here.
Okay, wait. Let me guess. We're at the flower garden.
You would make a lousy detective.
What is this? What is this?
Well, not that we needed any inspiration or anything. I just thought we might get an idea of what we have to look forward to.
Can you imagine how much fun we're going to have buying this stuff? Look at his ears.
Can you imagine how much trouble you're going to have keeping me away from all the children's stores in Santa Barbara?
I know. What is this, blue eyes here? Well, that'll be interesting to see. Maybe we should go for twins. Then we'd have an excuse to buy two of everything.
No. One is fine. One perfect, beautiful, sensitive, little human being.
You don't ask for much, do you?
I'm spoiled. I got you. Now I think I can have everything.
Hey, Victoria, wait up.
Well, you know, Senator, you didn't tell me that everybody in Santa Barbara is so public-spirited.
What?
Well, I finally talked to that volunteer lady. She said there were no volunteer roles available, that nothing was available at all.
That's crazy.
Well, that's what I thought. Don't they always need volunteers in hospitals?
They do. Believe me, they do.
Well, she said I could try again in a couple of months.
No, look, do me a favor, right?
What?
Why don't you try back again tomorrow?
No, but she told me that...
Just trust me, all right? I'm going to talk to somebody and see if I can straighten this out.
Oh, Scott, you've got enough on your mind than to deal with something like this.
You want to give up your time to help, and you're not asking for anything in return. Generosity's too rare in this world. I'll be damned if I'm going to see it go to waste.
Oh, I guess you're really glad you dragged me along. What? I mean, we meet friends of your father, and 2 seconds later, I'm biting their heads off.
You were standing up for something. Something that you lived and they didn't.
Doesn't mean you're not embarrassed by it.
Kane, I'm not embarrassed. Not at all. You know, we haven't really talked about the war too much.
I didn't want to dump it all on you.
Well, wars change people. I mean, everybody's different when they get out of it. I'm sure it was the same for you.
I thought the change was going to kill me. You know, I was told I was supposed to feel lucky that I was still alive, but I felt anything but. And I feel lucky now that I have you.
You know, I guess we both had our own wars. Mine was losing my father and fighting back by looking for his killer. I think I had the same survivor's guilt that you must have experienced.
Kane and Andrea, the walking wounded.
Well, I'd like to think we're healing a little bit now. Don't you?
Well, the more you let me know about you, the more I let you see of me, I think it makes us stronger.
I think you're right.
You know, today with your father, you had every right not to want me there. Thanks for letting me share it with you.
I'm glad you did. You know, I'm not sure they allowed public displays of affection at the Diplomat Club.
Well, what do they expect if they allow women in here? Come on! I mean, all hell's gonna break loose.
Do you think we're gonna have to wait a long time for our baby?
Not at this rate.
You know what I mean? I mean, some people aren't as lucky as Kelly and Jeffrey. Some people have to wait years.
Yeah, well, you can't worry about it. That's what all the books say. It just gets in the way if you worry about it.
Oh, I'm not worried. Overly anxious. Totally prepared, but I'm not worried. But the thing I was thinking about is I've always thought about having a boy. What if I have a girl? I'm going to be totally unprepared.
It would be nice to have a girl. I'd love to have a little girl.
Oh, come on. You'd rather have a little boy. Played soccer and baseball on the beach.
Hey, this is the 80s, you know. I could play soccer and baseball on the beach with a little girl, too.
No, she's going to be too busy.
preparing for the Nobel Prize.
I should probably have your hard-headed streak, too.
My hard-headed streak?
Stubborn, thy name is Eden.
Yeah, what about you? I bet you when you were 2 years old, you drove your parents right up the wall. No, mine, I can do it myself.
Well, I could do it myself, and I let them know, too. Actually, you're right. You know, if this kid inherits that stuff from both of us, we're going to be in over our heads. Maybe we should reconsider this whole thing.
Not on your life. I'm stubborn that way.
Yeah, you are.
Since when do you invite people to take over my house?
Your house. I thought this was my house, too.
Hey, listen. If you got anything to discuss, why don't you discuss it with me, huh?
Why don't you take your guppies and leave? You got nothing to discuss.
Hey, I'm not stepping aside this time. I'm tired of watching you push Sophia around.
Why don't you just stuff it?
You know something? One of these days you're gonna realize what you lost when you drove this woman away. But until then, you just leave her alone, huh? She's got a right to make up her own mind.
Well, she doesn't have the right to install whoever she wants in my house. Yes, my house, Sophia, long before you ever came back to Santa Barbara. This is in my name, not ours, not yours, my name.
I don't believe this.
Oh, my. You know, I never thought it would come to this. I moved out here to make it comfortable for you, as a courtesy to you, but not a courtesy to him.
Oh, I see. So this was like a loan, a privilege that you bestowed. As long as I didn't make trouble and remained part of the property. Oh, but if I had any ideas of my own, then that's different, right?
You have plenty of ideas of your own. Look, why don't you stay here as long as you want? All you have to do is tell him to leave.
The hell I will.
Then you'll both be out on the street. I'll evict you both.
I'd like to see you try.
You would? Would you really like that? Well, you're not gonna have long to wait. You'll be out by the end of the week.